FedEx account, so.
Okay, well, you want to log on?
No, I'm okay. We can do that later. No
Do it
problem.
later. Okay, so simple shipping.
Mhm.
This is what it is. Manual, put the data in best you can, and ship. Label comes out, you're good. You need a return label, there's returns. You can actually put include return label in there. If you do that, then that guy's already populated. You have to go find him, he's already there. It kind of reverses who the return
Yeah, the
shipper is.
recipient and the
Yeah, exactly.
receiver, yeah.
So in the barcode here, your address is going to be here, his is going to be there, and his zip code is going to be in there. So it's going to be a valid label. So that's all for scanning and keeping it.
Usually the return label they will put inside the box, right?
Pardon?
Yeah.
They will put inside the box the return label.
Yes.
Yeah. Just put it in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put the label in the box, and then they're good to ship it back. Most commonly, you use ground to ship it back because, well, actually for Texas, ground is 2 days. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you need it to get it back even quicker, that's kind of strange. But 2 days pretty good. Used to be like, well, California's 4 days, but there are places in Idaho, no, Nevada that are 5. They're just not easy to get to.
Maybe there's no road.
There's no road there.
Yeah.
In some places, they actually use taxis just to deliver it because they're
Maybe
the only
they
one there.
deliver by horse.
In Alaska, there is actually, or was a couple of years ago, a delivery bus dog sled. I'm sorry, and it had FedEx on the side. It is what it is. How is it going to get there? Well, I only think it's going to be dog or a helicopter, and it wasn't air, so it's going to be dog. So it's a simple program. Now let's say you have an e-commerce site, and they actually can export a file. Well, we can simply build the integration, walk through it right here, through an assistant wizard, and map whatever columns in your file to whatever fields you need them to. Well, let's say the third column was contact name. Well, we just map third column to the contact name, the fourth column to address, maybe the 10th to postal code. And so what happens then is that you have a unique identifier in your file. Could be an order number, could be anything. You would then type that number in here, whatever that number was.
Yeah.
You hit tab, and voila.
So this software can do international shipment too?
Sure, why
Okay.
not? We only have about 120 countries we can ship to.
Oh, okay. That's more than enough.
I hope so. Yeah, but when you do international, you have more stuff to worry about. There's you're doing product, you're not doing documents.
Yeah.
So then you have to worry about your commodities. Find out what your Harmoness codes are.
Yeah.
Find out all your data is, because it makes it easier, especially into Canada. So if you're doing if you start doing Canada, Canada is almost the worst place to international to.
Plus picking up parts there from Canada also is a pain now.
It's a pain. It's a pain. Canada's horrible. It really. I'm not give you an idea how bad Canada is. If I do a FedEx international, I mean just local. Okay, there's my service types. That's fine. I got a lot of service types. Let's say I just choose one. 2 day. Well, hit the possibilities for express. These are all FedEx owned packages. If it's not one of our packages, then you just use your packaging. If you use ground, it's only your packaging. So that's the only package type. Okay, we're going to go ahead and clear fields. We'll make another one. INT to EST. Oh, that's good. We'll do Canada. I just
Canada,
love
yeah.
Canada.
Let's try Canada.
Canada CA.
Deliver to Justin Trudeau.
Okay, Canada Street, why not? Well, where can we go in Canada? Well, I'm going to do a postal lookup. And I'm going to go, I like Ontario. Let's go Ontario. And that looks good. We'll do that. I don't know where that's at, but hey, let's go for it.
That is Ontario.
Got to put in this phone number. Have to. If it's bold, you have to have it.
Yeah, it's it should be.
Now the service type, not too many. We can still do ground though. Okay, and that's going to give you an error about your brokers because when you use Express, the brokers is built in. When you use ground, you can use FedEx broker, but you don't have to.
You
All
don't
about
have
that.
that. Yeah.
Now, how about the package type? You saw what we saw for ground in U.S., right?
Yeah.
Well, there they are. They're the only country that goes crazy on the package type.
There's a lot.
They go nuts. And most likely I use box. It's like, it's the box. But when you do international, you have this is required. Who pays for it from us? But this is not required. Who's going to pay the customs and duties fees? But it will hold you up in customs if you don't have that already preset. So if you're going to say recipient, then the recipient's got to know. Because they won't get their box until customs gets paid. It's just not going to happen. Again, we've data left, top down, right, top down, then across the top. Options, are there any options? Is there a ship alert? You can put those in there. But this is where it gets fun. You now have to put in commodity stuff. And this has to be something really descriptive that someone outside your knowledge would understand. Someone who's, like, let's say you're dealing with computer boards, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
And you would say, well, it's Asus 94, whatever. You can say all that. Nobody's going to understand that. A guy like, if they're not in your technology level, they won't understand
yeah, they
it.
don't know that. Yeah.
So you could say rebuilt.
Computer component like that. Yeah.
Component. That's dash motherboard. Anybody could probably understand. I don't know what a motherboard is, but here it's a computer component. Something that
Yeah,
describes it.
they would, yeah. At least they have idea.
And of course, you're going to have to probably say it was made in China. That's probably where it was. CN. Where's CN at? It's CN, China. Where's China? I know it's CN. Thank you, China. Unit of measure, that's very important. Most commonly is each. Really common, but it could be, depending on what it is. And it could be with $10. Is its value, not what you sell it for, but your replacement cost.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Like insurance.
Customs, the more you put on there, the
The
more
more
custom
they
you'll
would-
pay. Exactly. So I would go with replacement cost. You don't have to. You can put whatever you want. Notice these are not required. They're not required in Canada, but if you don't have a part number, it can hold you up in Canada. I'm not saying anywhere else. I'm just saying Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Okay. Harmonized code. That is a 10-digit code that really specifies what kind of motherboard it is. Probably tells you the color and who made it, and almost probably when they made it. It gets really crazy because you get like 8,000. That tells you, oh, it's a computer component, and this might say it's it's like PC con, and then there's another 4-digit number that tells you pretty much everything else about it. And it just gets really,
It's like a
really
UPC
good.
code.
It's almost like that, yeah. But it's for customs.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you add that to shipment, and then you go on to this. What's the purpose? Did you sell it? Was it not? Is it repair, return? This also has to do with what you're paying for in customs. Now, if you have your own commercial invoice, great, you can use it, but you still have to put this data in. This has to reflect the shipment as much as your commercial invoice. If you want FedEx to make one for you, we can do that as well. Okay? And 3 copies will need to be attached to the shipment. We can talk about electronic trade documents. We haven't got there yet. So when you go to international, we'll probably at the top more. Because we can do that where instead of you printing paper out and putting it on the box, it can be done electronically where all you get is a label. If you haven't done any international shipments, if you're not really seasoned on that, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But that could definitely save you a lot of grief.
We going to avoid the cabins. It's very very
Okay.
complicated.
It is complicated. But we have people I'm not the international expert, we have people that are. That's the clear overview. It's pretty simple. You left,
Left and right, and then all the highlighted we need to fill up, right?
have to fill them out.
Yeah.
Have to fill them out. Except like right now, I think you did a Canadian picture shipment. and now telephone's not required. But once you do an international, telephone is required.
Required. Everything is.
Okay, so clear field. So what we're going to do, we don't need to destroy these, but you might as well. Okay, so create the labels you want. It should be easy enough to do. If you start talking about integration, we can talk some more. Your first international, you probably want to call and get some.